Hello, everybody. Welcome to So Many Whatnots. I'm Willow, and this is the Farmer's Wife 1930s Sampler Quilt series. Today, we are doing the Farmer's Wife. Yay! All right, so I have my fabrics picked out. They're a little different, but very similar to, I think it's this one, to the fabrics they have. Now, in the book, they have more of a red print, red flowers on a cream. It's red and green on cream. Let's see here. And I don't have as much red, and there's a lot less green. It's a lot less busy. But that's okay. I really like this one, and I'm excited to use it. And then I do just have a regular green that's actually pretty close. All right, so let's get our pieces sorted out. There are a lot of pieces, and there's some really tiny ones. So let's get these out. All right, let's start with A. All right, it looks like the light green is going to be the print, and the dark green is the green. Okay, so A, B, C, D, H, I, J. H, I, J is actually for both. So I'm just gonna put it in the print. No, I'm gonna put it on the green. We'll do the green first. So let's set these aside. Okay, and then we have E, F, G, E, F, G, J. Yep. Okay, E, F, G, and J. And we are cutting 4 out of E, F, and G, and then we'll cut 2 out of J. Okay, so let's do these, and then I'll come back and we will cut out the other ones. Okay, and make sure you put your J in this pile when you're done cutting it out of the green. So I'm gonna do that one first, and hopefully I don't forget. And this is getting pretty, I'm just going to shake that out here quick. Oh, that's better. Okay. All right, let's get these cut out, and I'll be back and we'll cut out the other ones. Here we go. we are done the green. Now we are going to, let's lay these out. Okay, so A, B, and D get 2 each. C gets 6, J gets another 2, and then H and I each get 4. Let's see, we don't have a 4 pile. We do have a 2 pile. Okay, 2, 4, 6. Let's see if we can remember that. But I do have the book right here, so I just look over every time I need to like double check. So we're gonna cut all of that out of the print. I'm gonna move these up so they don't get snagged by my jelly roll strip here. And this is really stretchy fabric. This there's a couple of these brands that are very stretchy. And naturally, like, jelly rolls are really stretchy because of the way they're cut. So anyways, let's get all these cut out. I'm gonna start with the ones that do 2 and go from there. So all right, let's get the rest of these pieces cut out. Here we go. All right, so what I'm doing here, I can fit 2 of these on one strip, but I absolutely despise these edges. So I'm getting rid of the edges. And then that just makes it easier for me because you could cut these, you could draw your 1/4-inch seams and use your pins to match up the dots, like the intersections. And I don't do that. A lot of people do that, but I don't. And so I like my edges to be really as accurate as I can make them. And the edges of these just make that difficult. So I'm just cutting off the points here. And then I'll get to tracing and cutting out, and I should be able to fit 2 of these on one strip to save fabric, because otherwise I have a lot of scraps, and with how many pieces there are, I'm not sure I could get down one jelly roll strip with all those pieces that I need. I probably could, but I just don't want to risk it. So I'm doing it this way. I shouldn't need this anymore. That should be good enough. Okay. All right. I just wanted to explain what I was doing if it looked a little odd, because I never get out my, my rotary cutter, you know, unless I'm doing different stuff without templates. Okay, here we go again. are going to get this all laid out. And this is a block that is going to take quite some time. Just by looking at it and how many pieces there are, it's going to be a long one. So, all right. First, what we want to do, let's lay out the edge, the edges. So we're going to take a long one and put that here, and then a shorter one. These are B and D. Oh, I'm sorry, not B and D. I have that wrong. Okay, this one over here. This one up here. I'm getting there, guys. I got this. All right. These are the long ones. So those are D. Now we're going to take B and put those at the bottom toward the right. And this one toward the left. Okay. And then we're going to take E, and we're going to put the long side to the angled side. And you can just overlap those, and we will be sewing those together. So let's put those on, and we're just going to make a little bit bigger of a rectangle, or like a full rectangle. Okay, and now we need, I see. Okay. So A will go on the long side and just leave a small gap there. And then two of the small rectangles, which is C, put those, we can move these more centered. Put those along the shorter one and leave a gap. Okay, so those will all get sewed into strips. Okay, now we're going to go to the center and start at the center. So we're going to take our bigger triangles, not the little teeny ones here, but the bigger ones. And we are going to put all four of those together. We are going to just overlap two at a time. And those will eventually, if I can get this facing the right way, end up into a square. This one has so many pieces, guys. Okay, so now we're going to take the 4 rectangles that we have left over, and we are going to just put those, oh, there goes my light, right around the outside like that, leaving the space. And these might have to get moved up more. We're running out of room already. Let's see if we can do that. And then just kind of move everything over. It'll all shrink down. I think I said in a prior video that I need a bigger board for some of these, but my other board is like way too big. So we're just going to make a little room here. Okay, close enough. Some of this stuff's going to overlap, even though we might not want it to. All right. And then right behind those, let's put these with the short side facing in. Now I think we have enough room, barely. Okay, and then these we're going to take and we're going to put the long edge, this edge, against the side there, like that. It's a little hard for me to explain in words this morning what I'm doing, apparently. But we're going to make rectangles out of these. So if you can imagine what a rectangle would look like. Straight edges on the side and the long edges. Woo! Okay. Y'all can see what I'm doing, so we'll just go with that. All right, and then the other one's put on the other side. We have just enough room on here, so that's good. All right, and then our blocks, we are just going to put in the 4 corners, just like that. Now, this block goes together a little, well, we have to make a lot of units, okay? And then it gets put together. And so we have to make these units here. We have to make these here, and then we put stuff together in strips in the middle. And then we squish the middle down, and then we put the edge on, like these right here. So it's gonna be a little different than you're used to, a little different than anything we've done. We're 40 minutes in and we just got everything traced and cut. This may be over 3 hours with all the pieces we have to sew together. So I'm gonna try to go through this one a little quicker, but I yap a lot, I talk a lot. So we'll just see what we can get done here. So what we're gonna do to start, I think we'll just start with these edges. Oh, and I will have my iron out on this one, I believe, because there's a lot of really tiny pieces. So I think I'm going to use my iron on this piece, like this whole block. So what we'll do is sew all the first units together and then I'll iron them, and then we'll, that way I'm not ironing after every single piece. So, let's start with these outside ones, and I'm going to draw my 1/4 inch on the back of this. We're going to line that up really good like that. We're going to press that open, and then we are going to draw our line here and sew that together. Okay, so we're making one big strip, and there's 2 seams per strip. Okay, so let's do those first. And I will just press these open with a roller to start. Okay, so let's do those and then I'll be back. Here we go. forgot my rollers downstairs. So I'm just doing a little finger pressing here. And yeah, so that's why I'm doing that. Just a quick note. I'm going to take a quick break, go downstairs and grab my roller in case I need it again, and stretch out my hands a little bit. So I will be right back. It'll just be a couple seconds for you, but it'll be about 10 minutes for me. All right, see you shortly. All right, I'm back. Oh, hopefully I didn't get this too messed up here. All right, I think that's better. This camera gets a little wonky. Like I can already see it's not quite the same as it was when I left. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the inner ones. And so we are going to sew these little triangles onto this. And we're just gonna put them both on at the same time. No need to press first before putting the other one on because they're far enough apart. And so we're going to do that. And then we'll come back and do the center square. All right, here we go. those for now because I actually went downstairs and forgot to get my roller out of my other little project I'm working on. So, we're here without the roller. And I really feel like my camera is way off here, guys. I am so sorry, but it's a little funky today. So you just have to bear with me. It's a long block, so the next break I take, hopefully I can do something about it. It's really, really a little whacked out this morning. I'm so sorry. All right, so the next one we're going to do is the center, and we're gonna sew these together. Just these, we're gonna sew 2 triangles into a bigger triangle, and then I'm gonna press all this stuff, and then we're gonna start sewing more units together. Okay, so we're just gonna do these 2 seams, and I am going to get my iron turned on and everything and heat it up, and then I'm gonna press all the things open. I'm actually wondering, these I might just press to the side. Yeah, because they don't really, they're not gonna affect anything. So these I'll just press to the side. Everything else I think I'll probably press open just to be on the safe side. Okay, so we're gonna get these 2 right here done and then press everything, and then I'll be back. right, so we have a few things to put together here, and we are going to start with 5, and that's these. Okay, we're going to put all these together into squares, and we're going to put this center one into a square as well. So we're going to do these 4 and the center. And so I'm just going to draw on the back of these, flip them over, sew them together, and then I'll press those open. And then I'll do the same with the center. Okay, let's get these sewn. I apologize for the noise in the back. There are birds in my dryer vent right now, and they're causing a ruckus. I have to get a cover for that. Anyways, so if you hear some loud noises, it's the birds. They show up every morning. Well, it's 11 o'clock here, but whatever. Okay, so for these I pressed just open, and just to reduce some bulk here. I'm sorry, not open, but toward the white. And then this I pressed open just because that's what I had been doing. Okay, so now we are just going to turn these into strips. Okay, so we're basically making a 9 patch, just like this. And then we'll squish this together into a 9 patch, and then we'll put the top and bottom on, and then the sides, and we'll be done. So we have 6 seams here. So I'm just going to draw my 1/4 inch on both sides of these. No, on just this side. I'm not going to do it on these. It's easier to do it on a plain piece and then to worry about seams, and everything twists and turns when you are hand sewing. And so it's just a lot easier to do it on, oh goodness, my brain, on pieces that do not have seams. And so that is what I'm doing here. And then I'm just going to sew them to the centerpiece. And then, let me see where we are on time. Okay. We may have time to squish them all together into a 9 patch before I take my next break. And we may not, but I believe we should be able to get those in there. We're about an hour and a half in. We're actually not doing too bad on time. I did think this block would take a lot longer than it is taking. So that's good news. All right, so let's squish these together, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did press these in and the others out, and this is going to leave a lot of bulk here, so it's going to be extremely difficult to quilt through. But this is one where I may just not quilt through these little tiny triangles here. Either way, it'll be fine. I could have pressed them all open, but I just really felt like this wanted to fall that way, so that's what I did. It's going to be a little different lining these seams up, but it'll be fine. Anyways, oh, my screen went blurry again. Oh no, come on. There we go. Sorry about that. I rebooted everything and it's still going blurry, so I'm going to be looking into getting some kind of camera to use instead of my iPhone. Okay, so I'm just going to draw the line on the back of both of these, and then we're going to sew this 9 patch together. And by that time, it'll be probably time for me to take a really quick break, and then I'll be back. So I'm going to sew these. I'm going to press them. I'm not sure how, but I'll probably just press them out. Yeah. And then I'll be back. I'll take a break and then I'll be back. All right, here we go. just have 4 seams left. I'm so excited. This block has been definitely a little tedious, but definitely fun. So I'm just double checking to make sure I have it right before we go sewing on the last pieces. And I believe I do. Okay, so it's a little wonky. It's a little crooked. We're gonna get that straightened out here with these edges. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna bring these small edges down first, and they fit right on there. All right. If yours are a little bigger or smaller, just work with your pins to stretch out whatever it needs stretched a little bit. You can do a little bit. Don't stretch out 1/2 inch. But if you have like 1/4 of an inch, you can sure make these bigger or smaller, and it'll be fine. Mine look to be the right size, so I'm not worried about it on my end, but it does happen. So you can stretch it just a little bit if you need to. All right, so I'm going to draw on the back of my these pieces here because these are a little wonky. I want to get these, I'm going to mark them on the back of this, and then I'm going to line them up and just kind of make sure they're straight where they need to be. And see, it'll square up. So I'm just going to work with my pins to square this all up, okay? And once I am done this, I'm going to press these, and I'm just going to press them whichever way they want to go. And I'm not sure which way that will be, but I'm guessing it might be out towards this, but I'm not worried about which way to press these. Okay, so after that, I'm going to sew these on these sides. So I'm going to mark all 4 of these right now. I'm going to sew, press, sew, press. Okay, let's finish this block. everybody, we are finished with this block. This is number 33, Farmer's Wife. And we're just going to check the size real quick and then we'll be finished. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty much right on, maybe a little short on the sides, but I think that looks pretty good. So, all right, thanks for joining me, and I will see you for the next one. Bye.